Good morning. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Jefferson County Veterans Association. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, please remain standing. Now we will have the Star-Spangled Banner performed by Steubenville High School student Gianna Barker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, oh my gosh, and the home of the brave. That was exceptional.
Thank you. Great job. Welcome to the first annual State of Jefferson County Address. It is my vision that this will be an annual event led by the Chairman of Commissioners. I'd like to have it rotate to various locations throughout Jefferson County and be held every February. There are a few reasons why I feel like an event like this is important, one being transparency. I want elected officials who are available and out promoting their respective areas. Another reason why this event is important, I'm not naive or oblivious to the fact that this area has its problems and challenges. Last week, we received the terrible news about Cleveland Cliffs closing. While the business is located across the river, we have families in this county that work there. The news made me sick to my stomach. I personally know several workers and their families and that will be affected by the closing. And what happens in one part of the Ohio Valley affects us all. But we can't give up. As you will hear today, there are many positive projects going on in this county, and we will all continue to work hard for you. There is a reputation around here that we must shed in order to market this county better and be more inviting to business opportunities. You will hear from 10 speakers today. They're all working diligently in changing our perception and making a positive impact on this county. Before we get to the speakers, I would like to recognize the elected officials and candidates who are present. We have Mayor Barilla from Steubenville, Tony Morelli, Commissioner, Dave Maple, Commissioner, Ted Gorman, Steubenville City Council, Ron Ferguson, State Representative, Andrew Plessich, Clerk of Courts, Dave Albaugh, Councilman, City of Steubenville, Mike Petrella, Mayor of Wintersville, Tracy McMenamin, Steubenville City Council, Brenda Roski, Mayor of Adena, Paul Cesaro, Cross Creek Township, and we also have candidates, Ron Kleinecke for Commissioner and Dr. Thomas Graham for Commissioner. Thank you all for attending. Our first speaker today, Tony Morelli, is in his 4th year as Jefferson County Commissioner. Tony is a representative who is always out and about and working very hard for the citizens of this county. Tony?
Good morning, everybody. Nice crowd. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Commissioner Timmons, for announcing me, but also for putting this together. I got 4 minutes, so I'm going to go pretty fast. That's what we're trying to keep it to, and there's a lot of you in there know it's hard for me to do anything in 4 minutes. I like to talk. So, one of the things I want to talk about, one of the positives, is we have signed, and we being the commissioners, a resolution to move forward with a pilot solar generation project designed to generate 43 megawatts, enough to power 8,000 homes. With that comes 200 construction jobs and 15 to 20 new jobs, permanent jobs, all of which will try to hire local and use local trades to build it. The current tax revenue right now on that property, which is reclaimed coal mine, is $20,000 annually. With the pilot program, pilot meaning payment in lieu of taxes, the annual dollars is between $300,000 and $380,000 annually, so significant. The biggest winner is Indian Creek High School will receive an extra $200,000 a year for 35 years, and it's a 35-year project. So some construction jobs and some permanent jobs. That's a positive. Other positives happening in Jefferson County is hopefully Trinity's new hospital will be done this summer. If you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. Franciscan has multiple projects going, and Joe Wallace is here. He'll talk to you about that. 7 Ranges. If you haven't seen the new 7 Ranges, you've got to get out there. It's amazing. People say there's nothing here. Well, there's a fantastic addition, and I highly recommend you go out and thanks to the Ferguson family, and Representative Ferguson's going to talk a little more about that. New restaurants, we have the Harp and the Habit, Pistachios, in Wintersville, Italian restaurant, maybe one of the best, definitely in this region, maybe the best anywhere, so if you haven't tried it. And then with 7 Ranges, the GOAT. So there, we always hear we have no new restaurants. There's 4 local ones that are fairly recent, real recent. Let's support them. And there are also, I was in Toronto yesterday. There's a new Dunkin' Donuts. They broke the ground for the new Dunkin' Donuts. And we have strong interest from other developers to bring national chains in here. Hopefully we get that through the finish line. Another big thing happening for us, it's Appalachia Grant. It's been in the paper a lot. We've got 2 applications, one through Omega and one through Jefferson County Soil and Water. That particular one, we're applying for over $100 million. It's mostly lifestyle benefits, a lot of trails, a new dog park out in Wintersville, and I don't have time to go through all of them, but 5 different townships, 6 different townships in our county will realize $70 million between them with different projects. So we should know about that any day. Working hard on that. Soil and Water's worked hard. I actually went to Columbus and was there the day DeWine signed the bill. So the commissioners we've been pushing this since the beginning. We want to hopefully get our part. Probably another project and another positive, and for me maybe one of the best is the Safer Watch system, which is the security for the new schools led by 911 Director Rob Harrington. It's not quite 100% up, but it's very close. It's ran by smartphones, buttons, and about 1,600 cameras. And how it works is if staff or anyone in the school sees an incident or feels something's going to happen, they push a button. And we've had a couple false alarms here recently. Within 10 seconds, this is real, it happened, within 10 seconds, 911's alerted, and response time from sheriffs, local police, you name it, has been 90 seconds. So they can get there in 90 seconds, and the best part is that with the cameras, it's not only getting to the school or the facility, it's seeing what's going on. The cameras will show is there someone in a classroom, what's the weapons. So and Jefferson County is the first one in the state of Ohio. And the commissioners have helped move that forward. We actually gave $300,000, a little better, to buy the software for this. So our kids are safe. You know, another thing that's not a lot of press is the Social Security office. It has had intentions of going to East Liverpool and most likely not coming back. And our seniors would have to go to East Liverpool. So with the help of Congressman Johnson and a lot of work, his staff and the commissioners, we got them to come back to Jefferson County, and even better, they're a tenant of ours. Another thing that I'm proud of is the support we've given our new sheriff. We have allocated a lot of money to get their department, the deputies, and all that work there, the equipment that they need. So we purchased over 10 cars. I'm not sure exactly. The fleet was in bad shape. We bought them vest, ammo, radios. So happy to do that and keep those guys safe, give us state-of-the-art equipment when we send these guys out. Friendship Park's another project. Most of you have been at Friendship Park, I think it's the gem of the county. It's beautiful, just not a lot to do out there. The commissioners have budgeted some money for new kayak docks, redo the shelters, get them up to speed, and the possibilities out there are unlimited, which I feel one of the main things we need to do is give our kids and grandkids things to do. The commissioners budgeted over $1 million for the children's home, get a new roof, get it up some new equipment. It was in dire need. And the last thing I'm going to say is I see Andrew Plessage, clerk of courts. He's done some fantastic stuff in the clerk of courts office. I've had multiple people stop me and congratulate how the office is run and the looks. And the same with Scott Rempforth at the recorder's office. So I think we've got a great team in the courthouse, and those two departments are getting us into the 21st century. So that's all I have. Thank you again for being here, and I'll pass it off.
Thank you, Tony. Our next speaker, Dave Maple, is in his 20th year as Jefferson County Commissioner. Dave decided not to run for another term, but his legacy in the county will be seen for decades. Dave is a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate the support and guidance he has given me through my first year as a commissioner. Dave?
Morning, everybody. Everybody okay hearing me? Yes, okay. I was told I've got 4 minutes, and this presentation took me an hour or two to put together, so good luck to all of us. My first hiccup. How do I click? Thank you. Okay, so I wasn't sure of the audience. I'll run through this quickly. A lot of people think commissioner's in charge of everything. This is some of the duties that are included. Unlike a city, commissioners are bound by the Ohio Revised Code, so if it's not in that Ohio Revised Code, it's not something that we are permitted to work on. So you'll see that my best example is the law says we will go out and catch bad dogs, so we have a dog warden. If you ask us to catch your cat, we're not allowed. So the revised code is very specific about what commissioners can and can't do, unlike maybe a city. Commissioners' primary responsibility include the county budget spending. I'll go over that a little bit. County buildings, county property, the Water and Sewer Department, Job and Family Services, and Economic Development. I'm going to try to move quickly. So I do want to mention, because they're here, I've got two great commissioners I'm working with right now, but we also have two in the House, Commissioner Graham, Commissioner Gentile. I don't know if you want to stand or not, but a lot of these charts reflect the hard work of these gentlemen as well. This is something that I've done since I got in office. We start tracking our actual spending in our budget. So you can see about 2005, we're about $12 million. We're up to about $20 million now, which sounds like a big number. However, if you compare that to a general 3% trend over time, we're right about a 3% trend. You can see, that was a tough year when we did the budget. We had to make a lot of departments really change what they were doing to get us back to under control. Right here, that's what we're budgeting this year. Likely, we're not going to see that spent. Most of your departments do a good job of coming in under budget. This is something I've tracked since I got in office. One of the things is how are we doing? Are we pulling the right levers? But this is your unemployment rate in Jefferson County, and that's about where I started. A lot of steel mills closing, et cetera. This would be COVID. So as you can see, if you rule out COVID, you have a general decent trend of unemployment, which is, a driver of what we work on and what we should be working on. And this is just another look at that, but it's the average number of unemployed workers in Jefferson County. So right now, we have 1,255 people that are not employed, which is one of the lowest numbers since we've been tracking. Now, on average, that's about 2,000, a little over 2,000 people in Jefferson County. So, building projects, this is a lot of what we do, right? This is a list of them. One of the biggest ones we're most successful with Commissioner Graham and Gentile was the tower building. We bought that building. We did a great job from a price perspective. We put a committee together, told us what the value of it was, and then we put a good bit of money into it. But it's one of the best buildings downtown Steubenville right now. In my time, we put a new animal shelter. We've had the 3 county courts. We did a courthouse exterior rehab. That was back when Commissioner Skirty was on board. We demolished an annex building, put a nice new parking lot in. We do have some Friendship Park improvements like Commissioner Morelli mentioned. One of the newest ones is a handicap accessible kayak launch that'll be out there very soon. Boiler replacements, 911 building. We extended the airport runway, which was great for commerce. This year was courtroom remodeled, actually last year. And then we are always out there doing recreation projects. So every year we'll put a bunch of money back into the townships, into the villages for recreation. Water and sewer, I saw Mike Rosovich, our director, back there, but there's a lot of projects we've done in water and sewer. These are big multi-million-dollar projects. So Crestview Belvedere was one that never made the list. It was 20 years in planning and it never got done, and we finally decided to pull the trigger and get Crestview Belvedere done. You can see water extension project. Pottery Addition was one of the worst polluters of sewage into the river. We repaired that one a few years ago, and these are the other ones that have been going on, and all the way up to the one we just recently completed, which would be the Amsterdam project. Current projects, we've talked a little bit, and I'll close about the spec building. We have a tower parking lot that we, if you work at the tower building, if you notice I say tower, everybody calls it the Towers building, but there's only one of them. So I'm trying to set a trend to say it's the tower building. So we're going to work on that parking lot. If you try to park there, it's a little bit of a mess. We've been asked to take a look at a water system at the southern end of the county. We haven't committed to do that yet. And we've been talking and moved forward with our Burgos Amsterdam water line replacement. That'll just be in the study phases right now. So other projects, speculative. So everybody here, spec building. Speculative building means we're going to build it, but we don't know who's going to be in there. We're going to try to build a building that will create jobs. Right now, the state of Ohio is probably better than it has been as far as being pro-speculative. There's a period of time where there wasn't funding available for those kind of, you either had to have your employer in place or you weren't going to get funding. So fortunately now we have a window that's open where we can get some grants and loans to put together this building. Why do we put together the building? Because when you look at 50 to 100,000 square foot buildings, not just in Jefferson County, but all the way down the river, there are very, very few that are available for an employer to work in. So we need to build one. Most of the employers that I deal with on my private side, they don't have time and they don't want to wait for you to build your building. They want a building that they can move into. So there is a low inventory, which drives us to say, let's create some inventory. The Port Authority, and I know Mr. Naylor's here, he's going to speak a little bit about that in economic development. We created the Port Authority, I don't know how long ago now, 2012, under some criticism at the time, but the Port Authority has a lot of powers that commissioners don't, and it makes them an ideal candidate to take over this spec building. So we're looking forward to that. We've been a lot of discussion about how big do you make that building? Is it a 50,000 square foot building, a 100,000 square foot building? And I know Tom, we talked about that back in the days with you guys. And right now, the plan is a 50,000 square foot building with a pad ready next to it, so it's expandable. So if somebody needs that extra 50,000 square foot, the pad is ready just to build on top of it. So those are the things that we have worked on that I'm proud of, and the things that we are working on. That's a little rendition of what it'll look like with the pad-ready site off to the side. If you want to know where this is, out on 43, where the industrial park is back, where all the cones say do not park, but everybody parks. It's back that road in the industrial park, and I think Robert's got some overviews of, so if you ever want to take a ride back there, you'll see where it is. So again, thanks to Commissioner Timmons for organizing this, and thank you all for your time.
One of the big must-haves for me today was having our Jefferson County veterans in attendance to lead us in the pledge and the national anthem. We wouldn't be here without them. Thank you all for your service and the sacrifices you have made for us. I would like to have Barry Bardone, the adjutant for the Jefferson County Veterans Association, give us a few veterans updates on Friendship Park.
Thank you. I always take an advantage of a situation like this when I see people in the audience. I'd just like to advise all the veterans that several years ago, Congress passed a resolution to code about saluting. You don't have to be in uniform anymore to salute. You're allowed to salute at the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, or taps. So if you'd like to place your hand over your hearts, that's fine, but you're allowed to salute like we do now. Yes, I am Barry Bardone. I'm from the adjutant of the JCVA, or the Jefferson County Veterans Association. I'd like to give a brief history of what we do in our organization. The Jefferson County Veterans Association is comprised of veterans from all military branches of service. We had and have members who served in peacetime or took part in wars or engagements from World War II through Desert Storm. It was founded in 1995 by Korean and World War II veterans. They established Fort Friendship in Friendship Park that has on display today a veteran war-era observation plane, Korean War F-86 jet fighter, a tank, a howitzer, Navy anti-aircraft guns, bunkers, and much more. They also built a shelter adjacent to the park, housing picnic tables. In 2010, members of our organization conceived of building a memorial wall consisting of names of county veterans. We anticipated requests for about 90 bricks. We ended up with 888 names of veterans from the county and other areas. The last 2 years, we power washed and painted the planes, repaired the bunkers, installed new propellers on the observation plane, and planted a memorial tree. We repaired and painted the shelter and held a dedication ceremony naming it the Sheriff Fred Abdullah Senior Shelter in honor of our late member. At the memorial wall, we installed cement walkways, 2 benches, and landscape stone. This year, we hope, with the help of and support of the commissioners, to place artificial turf in between the walkways. The military park, shelter, and memorial wall was constructed and is maintained by several generations of veterans whose love of service to our country and community did not end when we were discharged. The JCVA presents Memorial Day and Veterans Day programs at the wall. Our annual countrywide Veterans and Active Duty Personnel Picnic we hold in July, and is supported by hundreds of attendees. We also provide an honor guard firing squad duty at funerals. We place 8 wreaths at the wall during the Wreaths Across America campaign. Today, with other veteran groups, they participate in the Buckeye Local High School Veterans Day program and administering a civics quiz to its students, presenting cash and other awards for top scorers. And we also speak at local schools. We meet the first Wednesday of every month at 1,300 hours, and that's 1 p.m. for you civilians, at Friendship Park, maintenance building from November through March, and at Sheriff Fred's shelter, April through October. All military veterans are welcome. Now, I will be remiss if I don't update everyone on the status of Corporal Fred McGee. He was a Korean War Silver Star recipient from Smithfield. I interviewed him several times a few years ago. He's since passed on. His daughter, Victoria, asked me to look into his citation. After reviewing battle reports, eyewitness accounts, and reviewing his citation, I believed his actions were not accurately reported. With the help of Sheriff Fred Sr. and Victoria, I wrote a report and identifying many discrepancies. Long story short, after presenting our case to Congressman Bill Johnson and the Secretary of Defense, they took up our cause. The Secretary petitioned Congress to waive the time statute of limitations on our request and award Fred the Medal of Honor. It is now in the President's desk waiting for his signature. So I want to thank Commissioner Timmons for the opportunity today to speak on behalf of Jefferson County veterans. Thank you.
Next, we have Steubenville Mayor Jerry Barilla. Nobody loves Steubenville like Mayor Barilla. It's an honor to serve with him when I was on City Council. Mayor Barilla will give us a tourism update.
Good morning, good morning. Well, I'm here this morning to tell you that tourism is on a rise in Steubenville and Jefferson County. As you all are aware, we just came out of what we call the Nutcracker Village at Christmas time. That event will be now, this year coming, will be 10 years that we've done this Nutcracker Village. And it's improved every year, it's grown every year, but this year, and I have to contribute it to being on national television, it had catapulted people coming to Steubenville to see the Nutcracker Village. I mean, I got calls the next day so far away as Florida, California, Boston, about Steubenville and the Nutcracker Village. It's a unique thing that's happened. We have to congratulate the Nelson family for doing what they've done to make this thing happen. So we estimate this time we had 40,000 people come into Steubenville. And one thing, too, about this Nutcracker thing is that people stayed at our hotels from out of town, actually come that far away. So it has been a huge benefit economically for the restaurants, the retail shops, and as well as the hotels. Also, tourism coming to Fort Steuben, the fort. Yearly, we have people come from all over the country to visit the fort. There are many people interested in history, and we have one of the first forts built on this side of the river after the American Revolution. And actually, we were beginning the start of what is called the New West in America. So that, and we also, you may not be aware of this, but Steubenville is part of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Lewis, coming out of Pittsburgh, his journey to going to the Pacific Ocean, they stopped in Steubenville. So we're part of that legacy, which is really unique, and we do have people coming to Steubenville to follow that trail. And also Steubenville is part of the Ohio River Scenic Byway. And again, that's another journey of 500 miles down the Ohio River. So we're at the beginning of that. And it's rewarding to have many people come. I think we've had every state in the union here. We've also had about 13 foreign countries here in Steubenville because of both of those entities. Also, we still have a large amount of people coming to visit our murals. We have something like 23 murals out there, and that's really an attraction. Now, years ago, we had buses coming in to view these things, and that mode of looking at things is not as it was back in the day. Most people do a day trip with cars, but that's still viable, and we're planning to do another mural this year. We have a young artist that we're looking at doing a mural of Lewis and Clark because, again, we're part of that legacy. And that's something that we're going to be hopefully able to get done this year. Light Up Night, Mr. Mavromatis, our city manager, a company got a hold of him that can track cell phones. So I think at that time on Light Up Night we had some 4,000 people come downtown to see the Light Up Night. Our First Fridays attracts people from all over the tri-state area coming here in Steubenville every first Friday of the month. Huge amount of traffic, restaurants, shops. Some stay overnight at the motels because of First Friday. So again, congratulations to the Harmonium Group who puts that on. Our summer concerts at the fort, that started back in 2006. I think that was the first beginning of revitalizing our downtown. And we'll get close to 1,000 people there every Thursday night for 10 weeks. And again, that draws people from Pittsburgh, St. Clairsville, Wheeling, around the tri-state area. And I think Toronto is now running also concerts as well. So congratulations to them. We've been doing our Christmas parade now for many years, and not to bad rap the Channel 9, but we stopped doing televising the Christmas parade, and I think we've increased our people coming to downtown, and I think we estimated again, we had roughly 7,000 people come downtown for our Christmas parade. All of you are well aware of the Greek festival. Huge, huge draw for people coming from everywhere to visit Steubenville and take part in that festival. This past year, we did Dean Martin. Now, Dean Martin has been a challenge for us, but this past year, we had the Rat Pack coming in from out of Las Vegas, and we had a standing room only event at the Frederick's Classic Corner. It was just an outstanding event there that took place, and we had also a car show and whatnot. So again, that's one of the Nutcracker Village and the Dean Martin Festival both draw people to stay in Steubenville overnight. The only two big events that do that. And I have to, and also when I became mayor, we moved the fireworks down to the river. And I think that's, now I think more people can take advantage of it, to see it and watch it from all vantage points, and it's been a huge draw for us. I also have to congratulate Mr. Wallace and the Franciscan University on their ice skating rink. It has, he's going to probably tell you about that, but wow, what a draw. What's something that's so positive for a family to take part of, and it's just humongous, and thank God of that you folks jumped in on that. And I have to say, too, one more thing about Steubenville High School. Many times, I take a lot of walks down on 4th Street at night and whatnot. These swimming meets that are held here, the wrestling meets that are held here, they draw a lot of people to Steubenville. When I walked out, I saw all these cars with different, license plates and whatnot, and they actually filter in down to the fort. If their son is wrestling or daughter's wrestling, maybe the parents, before the match takes place, they'll take a wander around Steubenville and end up down at the fort. So it's a draw for us here in our city. And even the baseball tournaments that take place up at Bellevue Park is another draw of people coming into our town. And I must say this, I have to congratulate Mr. Ferguson here on what they have accomplished at the mall. You know, my wife has had an issue with her eyes, and so we came back from the doctors, and so I went out to the mall to get her dinner at the Ville. I couldn't believe the parking lot. I couldn't find a place to park. I never saw so many cars there in I don't know how many years. God bless you. What a huge draw, Mr. Ferguson, and what your family has put into the 7 Ranges. And by the way, I'll leave with that name, 7 Ranges. That comes from here in Steubenville. That river was the end of the 13 colonies. And right after the Revolutionary War, they were going to measure from this river west ranges so they could start to sell land. And we were part of the very first 7 ranges. And that's where that terminology comes from. So thank you for that, for being part of history in our city. Well, anyway, I just wanted to say we are on a positive journey here with our tourism, and I'm happy to be a part of it, and thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Jefferson County Port Authority Director, Robert Naylor. Robert is going to speak about different projects going on in the county.
Commissioner Maple had discussed the spec building as one of the undertakings by the Jefferson County Commissioners. And I think it's very important to know that a spec building can be one of the most important tools you have for economic development, job creation, to attract employers, economic sustainability. But it's also a risky venture at the same time. And so the Port Authority and its board of directors, one of our board members is here, there may be others, I just see one right in my line of sight. We appreciate the collaboration we've had with the Board of County Commissioners. But also sitting here is former Commissioner Gentile, former Commissioner Graham, and we have the current board who has worked collaboratively, and it's that spirit of authentic collaboration which is going to help pull us through. But when you look at this the spec building, the commissioners didn't one day just say, hey, we want to build a spec building. Back in 2017, there was a study commissioned through Jobs Ohio, and Ohio, the precursor to, the predecessor to Ohio Southeast, and they determined that there would need to be moved 30, the cost would be $463,000, but there would need to be moved 30,000 cubic feet of dirt to develop a site. So as we look at the sites, this is an overview of your industrial park. And if you want to go to the industrial park, just take 22 West, get off at State Route 43 North, turn right, and when you come to County Road 43, turn right, go down maybe 7/10 of a mile, and you will see the National Coal Aid Company and Technology Way, and on the other side you'll see Bully Tools, and you're in the industrial park. The site that we're looking at is right here. So this site was 26 acres. This site that you see here is 13.36. The commissioners helped with the establishment of this cul-de-sac, and this is the gem of the industrial park. But what happened is there were other issues. Commissioner Maple was too humble to say it, but he tells the story oftentimes about a steel company that constructed steel buildings that was going to come here, but there were wetlands. There had to be a wetland study to remove the wetlands from the site. In addition, in 2020, there was an AMLR pilot grant, which made this site what it is. It was through the ODNR. They came in, did the excavating work, the grading, and it's the site you see. If you look at the back end of the site, right here, which would be on the southeast corner, the site itself is 26 acres, but there are 13.36 contiguous developable acres because it would be too cost prohibitive to develop the entire amount. But this is the type of collaboration and the type of process. So beginning in 2017 to today, 7 years, and now we are going after funding through the Ohio Site Inventory Program, the Rural Industrial Park Loan Program, with projected partners, Argus Capital, a subsidiary of Bricker Graydon, and Agricel. This exemplifies the collaboration that we need, and I think our former commissioners and our current Board of Commissioners are owed a debt of gratitude. But other collaboration has led to other positive things occurring in our area. There is another, and I would be remiss if I didn't note, there's another spec building in Yorkville in the southern end of our county, another Jobs Ohio grant. There's a 100,000 square foot spec building, which should be done, I would imagine, by June or July, and that's at the Yorkville Intermodal, which is served by rail, which is served by water, and also has very quick access to State Route 7 and Interstate 70. But other collaborations have led to, and many of you heard this, the issuance of $145 million of general revenue bonds for the JSW Steel installation of a volume tank, degasser, and caster upgrades to enable surface critical applications to occur so that JSW Steel could service the emerging renewable energy sector. This collaboration also was complemented by $1 million in funding from the Ohio Rail Development Commission, a very key stakeholder for the Port Authority. There's a $500,000 grant and $500,000 low-interest loan that will help infrastructure improvements for rail at the JSW site. I would be remiss in not also recognizing Mike Paprocki with the Brooke Hancock Jefferson Metropolitan Planning Commission. Mike, with BHJ and with the Port Authority, work and collaborate on a number of issues. But if you also recall, this is the second bond issuance that the Port Authority did for JSW Steel. The first ended and was funded on September 7, 2021. The next month, in a conference room at BHJ, it was BHJ, it was the environmental consultant that the BHJ BDC the Brownfield Assessment Coalition has. It's called the BDC, BHJ, and Port Authority Coalition. We had a meeting with the senior leadership team from JSW Steel. JSW Steel is a multinational company headquartered in Mumbai, India, but we had a meeting with their senior leadership team out of Baytown, Texas, and we talked about three things: workforce development, brownfield assessment at the site, and also infrastructure improvements. That is the type of collaboration that we're talking about. Many people don't know it because it goes unheralded, but back in the early 2000s, Mike's predecessor, Dr. Brown, who was just honored at the Chamber of Commerce dinner with regard to the brilliant Wellsburg Bridge, they started getting and going after petroleum grants. These grants kept increasing in size until recently in the 2015-13 range, when the first time ever, and prior to my coming to the Port Authority, there was a interregional grant between different regions of the US EPA. And it's between Brooke County, Hancock County, and Jefferson County. And the motto is very simple: 3 counties, 2 states, Ohio and West Virginia, 1 goal. That has led the groundwork and the seeds that you see at Form Energy. It's led it at Beach Bottom. It's led it at JSW Steel. It's led it at other projects that get brownfield assessment dollars to move forward. With that, and I think it's important to know that Commissioner Timmons referenced what happened, and we all heard the unfortunate news of Cleveland Cliffs. Hopefully there's some ongoing talks, but an indefinite shutdown and loss of 900 jobs. And I would leave you, I have one more thing to discuss, but I would say to you, what is good for Ohio and Jefferson County is good for Brooke County and Hancock County across the river. The river is just a natural impediment, but we need to look at our development in a regional basis. And now let's walk back and look at history. In 1980, the wages in Jefferson County were 10% higher than that of the national average. Commissioner Maple mentioned the workforce participation rate and how low our unemployment is. But have our wages kept pace with that of the rest of the country? And the answer is no. But we have to change that. How are we going to change it? The Port Authority, with the support of the commissioners, with the support of other local stakeholders, we received a U.S. Economic Development Administration planning grant. Many of you remember when the Samus plant issued a warn notice in January 2023, and they were closing. 120 workers left. Everyone said, oh, 120 workers, that's a terrible loss of jobs. That was a reduced amount of the number of jobs because there were many employees who already saw the handwriting on the wall and left and transferred to other First Energy Harbor locations. It also doesn't include, however, the third-party contractors that could be up to 50, 60, or 70. Clint Powell, I think, is here with the laborers union. I don't know if Troy Stewart's here with the Carpenters Union, but there are many other third-party contractors that service those facilities. And when you lose those jobs, it has an unfortunate adverse effect on spending at hotels, as Mayor Barilla mentioned, hotels, restaurants, and your stores. But with this grant, we are going to set a vision. We are going to go after a strategic plan. How will that occur? The Port Authority is putting out an RFP to get a third-party consulting group. They will come in and they will look at the county. They'll look at the county independent of what the Port Authority will give them, independent of any other statistics. They will come and do a hardcore, a backdoor assessment of where we are. And then they will come forward, provide us with their findings. We will provide them with the data that we have. We will have local stakeholders. We'll have Kate Sedgman, who will be speaking soon at the Chamber of Commerce. We'll have our large businesses, our medium businesses, our smaller businesses, and we need those stakeholders at the table because we have to develop a vision. If you don't have a plan, all you have is a wish list. And we need a vision. We need a course correction to chart where we are going, because we have to attack some of the major issues that affect us. Some of those issues are the lack of our youth. We have to get our youth to stay here. We are an older county. We also have a broadband issue. We have a housing issue, not only just affordable housing, but housing for middle class. We also have a lack of apartments. If Form Energy is going to employ 750 people, where are these people going to live? Some of them are going to live in Jefferson County, and we also have broadband concerns, among other concerns. But the fact is, we need to authentically collaborate, lock arms, pull together, and set our vision. Because when we set our vision, and if we can increase that pool of young people, we will help cultivate the next level of young leaders and set that mantle so they can take over. It's the Gen Zers, it's the millennials, it's the young Gen Xers that we need to take over and help forge our path forward. And I think it's very possible, and I think we can do it. Thank you.
When I'm out and about in the different communities, the first thing I hear, people are concerned about businesses, jobs, well, and potholes. I hear that a lot too, but we'll get to that. Kate Sedgmer, president of the Jefferson County Chamber, will give us a business update.
Thank you, Commissioner Timmons. If you've ever been to a chamber event, you know we have a gong to keep our time. I'll offer that to you for your next State of Jefferson County. No, I'm serious. Thank you for having the chamber here today. I'm grateful to stand in front of you. My name is Kate Sedgmer. I'm the president of the Jefferson County Chamber of Commerce. Since 1908, the chamber has addressed all of our small business needs. We've changed and diversified throughout the decades to meet whatever needs our businesses from our county need. We know that post-pandemic, we had a lot of work to do to support our businesses. We know now that the best way to support our businesses is to show our local students that there are career possibilities right here in our county. For the last several years, we have hosted over 600 local students at a career fair where they're given hands-on experience with local businesses to learn about what it could mean to work here in Jefferson County. Those businesses are offered or encouraged to bring their employee handbooks to talk out loud about salaries that they could start out with. And if students wish to go off to college, there are colleges and universities in attendance at the career fair that have very pertinent information regarding degrees that are needed here in the county. We encourage those students to take part in small roundtables to talk to these businesses and universities so that they can bring a skill set back to our area and offer that to our workforce. We've worked very closely in the last several years with our school districts and with the Jefferson County Educational Service Center to create a virtual learning course that enables our students to learn exactly word for word from business owners what they need to graduate high school and get a job at these great businesses. Again, we talk about the salaries that you can make right out of high school or if you return from college. That is important for people to understand that there are good paying jobs in our area. Late last year, we partnered with fellow business owners and local leaders to help launch the Jefferson County Chamber, or the Jefferson County Young Professionals Group. The attendance at these meetings cannot be overlooked. On average, there are 40 to 50 young people that are getting together on a monthly basis to talk about their businesses, to talk about how they can connect better in the community, and how they can breathe life into living, working, and playing in Jefferson County. This is an important group and speaks to the future of our community and the leaders that we will have. For the last year, we have worked hand in hand with the City of Steubenville to pass out and make available small business grants to our community in Steubenville. We are fortunate that we had this opportunity. We've sat down with small business owners, hopeful business owners, to talk about what a business could do for our community and what it looked like for them to open a business in the Steubenville area. We've learned so much about what it means to be an entrepreneur, whether you're starting in your basement or looking for a storefront. It's been an eye-opening experience, and I encourage you to take a look at all the new businesses that are opening in our area. Last year in 2023, the Chamber celebrated our 500th member in the Chamber's membership. Today, our membership is comprised of over 530 businesses that are here locally and also community members. Historically, the Chamber's growth has been a direct reflection of the county's business climate. Each week, we do see new businesses that are opening in our county. We are committed to supporting these businesses in any way that we can, but we also need public support to do just that. This year, we have seen a tremendous amount of growth, not just in the Chamber and our members, but across the county. Yet every day I answer questions regarding businesses that are seemingly opening in everywhere else except for our county. To that, I encourage you, open the Herald Star, turn on a local news station, read your Chamber newsletter. There are businesses that are opening every day here. We have to be our own champions, our own cheerleaders to talk about the wonderful things that are happening in our area, because there are. If you look around at the cornerstone businesses that make up Jefferson County, they have been here for decades, thanks to the families that have put their own blood, sweat, and tears into these businesses. However, they could not have done this without the support of the people in our area. They couldn't depend on a franchise or the support of a big chain. They depended on all of us to support and patron their businesses every day. If I can leave you with anything today, it is this. Please be the cheerleader of Jefferson County. Support the businesses that are here and are opening. We are the only reason that people are coming. The spirit of our community is what has held us together for decades. We're fortunate to have a big heart in our county, and that extends to all of you and all of our business community. So thank you, Commissioner Timmons, for bringing forth all of the positive things that are happening in our area. I encourage you to take part in all of those, and I look forward to giving you another positive update at this same event next year. Thank you.
Wintersville Mayor Mike Petrella has had a lot of success in the village. However, it wasn't always easy for Mike. Looking in from the outside, it just shows that it takes tough decisions at times to achieve success. You and your council are not afraid to make those tough decisions that benefit your community. Mike?
Thank you, Eric. Just want to start off by thanking the Jefferson County Commissioners for asking me to speak today. I will be much shorter than Commissioner Morelli, I do promise you that. I think your over-under today was 15 minutes, and I think Ronnie had you at 12 and a half, but pretty good job. So again, I was asked to speak here today on, business. Kate was a tough act to follow, I have to tell you. One of the big things I campaigned on a couple years ago was more business and less government. That is where prosperity starts. In 2022, Wintersville, we saw 13 new businesses open. In 2023, we saw 12 new businesses open. Some big, some small. We welcome all businesses of any size because we are extremely business friendly. We've seen old places of business turn into new developments. The former drive-in now holds an oil and gas company that purchased the land and plans to stay there long term. They employ 12 full-time employees, and they are still growing and actively hiring. We've seen an empty grass field on Main Street turn into a new car wash, which I'm sure all of you have seen how busy it is, a little bit of traffic problems there that we got to work out. But we've also seen our businesses expand. Our new restaurant, Postallo, Commissioner, just so you know how to say that from now. I didn't think you were Italian, wasn't sure. Postallo has expanded already since they've been there. They've opened up their new patio, and they're working on their back area for special events such as weddings and other events of that nature. And more recently, Halo Salon has expanded their business by remodeling over 7,000 square feet of their new location. It's filled with young, vibrant business people looking and wanting to stay in Jefferson County long term. This year, thanks to the Jefferson County Commissioners, another old business was completely remodeled and is now holding Jefferson County Court number 2 here in the village, which is good news because it brings the Wintersville Court finally in village limits. Businesses bring in money to our RETA tax, which is a huge part of what we depend on for our budget. So 25 new businesses in 2 years, and we're not done yet. Many people don't see the business growth just because it's not a big box store or big name, but that's okay. Wintersville, we pride ourselves on being home to small businesses, which I still believe are the backbone of this community and to this country. There's never been a better time to be in Jefferson County, if you want my opinion, especially Wintersville. Little biased, but seriously, Jefferson County as a whole, as you've heard from all these people up here, there's great things happening all over the place. Not just Wintersville, not just Steubenville, all over the county. I leave you with remembering positivity spreads, prosperity spreads. Stay positive, and positive things will follow. And lastly, we are looking for more businesses to open ASAP in Wintersville. We look forward to working with any business, encourage business owners. Anyone that wants to start a business, please call my office. We'll get things moving immediately and try to get you in the village and keep you there long term. So again, thank you, County Commissioners. Thank you all for being here, and try to remember that positive light on things spreads, positivity spreads, and prosperity spreads. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Keep up the great work out there. So I've been to Seven Ranges a couple of times now, and it's just beautiful. Can't believe we have something like that in this area. I want to thank the Ferguson family for their investment in our community. Also, thanks for filling the potholes. But now, to talk a little bit about that, Ohio State Representative Ron Ferguson.
Okay, we've reached the interactive part of the afternoon, so let me get a show of hands. Who has been to Seven Ranges so far? Okay, fantastic. Second question, who has not been to Seven Ranges yet? Okay, great. So we're open Thursday through Monday. You can come out, and we open up at 11 a.m. in the morning, and we close most days at 10, but on Fridays and Saturdays it's midnight. So anyway, we hope you make your way out there. You know, it's a little bit nostalgic standing up here right now for me, so I would say it's been about 30 years since I spoke on this stage. I was in a play when I was at Wells, the old Wells that's been torn down now, and I see my dad. Everybody's going to turn around, but he's sitting by the pillar back here in the back, and he was probably sitting in about the same seat when I was up here on the stage at that time, but his hair was my color instead of being gray, so... But, you know, 20 years ago, I remember voting my first election. Commissioner Maple was on the ballot that first time. 10 years ago, I was working at Channel 9. I see them up top, so that was my first career out of college. I say all that to say that I've always looked at this area as home. I've always tried to plant my roots here. That's what my family's wanted to do. And we have fantastic schools. We all know that. You know, we're going to hear about the new STEM building here in Steubenville. Indian Creek has a new high school. Toronto's is newer. We have a great place to send your kids. We're going to hear from Franciscan. They continue to expand. You can go to college here. We heard about Trinity earlier. None of us want to go to a hospital, obviously, but if you have to, we've got a great hospital. We have so much here in Jefferson County, and we continue to invest back into it. That's why we opened Seven Ranges, because now we've gotten to the point that all of our needs are taken care of. And now some of those nice things like the wants and the being able to do something fun with your family. That's what we have out there. We have axe throwing, we have bowling, we have miniature golf, we have games. In the spring, you'll have an outdoor area to sit, so not just at Postillo, but also at our place. You'll be able to sit outside and be able to share memories with your family. And of course, they mentioned the potholes. And so potholes have been an issue for a long time. We put some money into revamping that in our parking lot there at Seven Ranges. My brother and I also have the building that Dunham Sports is in. So if you look there, we have that entire parking lot paved, and we hope that as you continue to frequent the business there at Seven Ranges, we can stay on top of having a nice place and a nice paved parking lot. So I encourage you all to come out, and it's really a pleasure to be from Jefferson County. Thank you.
It's hard to believe 30 years ago, I graduated from Steubenville High School. I'm lucky. I love this community. I live here. My parents live here. My brother and his family live here. However, most of the people I went to school with graduated and moved away. I want to see more education opportunities here with the hopes of keeping more of our talented students around the area. Dr. Shana Wydra, Director of STEM Education for Steubenville City Schools, will talk about their new STEM building and their investment in our community.
Thank you. Our multimedia department created a little 30-second promo video that we want to show you to kind of give you an idea of where we've been and where we're planning to go with our new STEM facility.
In 1839, Steubenville City Schools began our educational journey, evolving through each decade, being the educational leaders. In 1940, the new Steubenville High School was the first $1 million high school in Ohio, incorporating career technical education courses, giving students an opportunity to train for job readiness upon graduation. Today, our new STEM facility will empower students in the same way with new CTE programs geared towards the fourth industrial revolution. Steubenville City Schools continues to build a brighter future for all of our students, supported by the community. We believe in investing and transforming our students' lives for a lifetime of success.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. So as you can see, we're very excited about our new STEM center. I checked this morning, and we are currently tentatively on track to have our May semester in our new STEM center, so we're very excited about that. Our students are very excited to get over there. If you haven't been in for a tour, I encourage you to reach out. Mr. Gorman, Mr. Diarora are always giving tours, and definitely get in there to see it. So as part of our STEM center, we are also pursuing LEED Silver certification. So for those of you that don't know what that is, which I didn't know what that was when we were initially starting this, that's leadership in energy and environmental design. So that's part of our pursuit for our new STEM center, which goes hand in hand with a couple of our new programs that we're offering. So the new STEM center is 41,000 square feet. It will house all of our current STEM and career tech programs that we offer here within Steubenville High School. We also, through a couple grants and partnerships, have some exciting new programs that we will be implementing. In addition to the 8 state-of-the-art classrooms, it will also house our community makerspace. So that will house all of our CAD programming, 3D printing. So that'll be a really exciting space that we can open up to the community. We also have a school-based health clinic that will be over there. Our Red Zone, which is our school store, will also be over there. For those of you that may not know, one of our biggest programs is our aviation program. So on the 3rd floor of the STEM Center will be our aviation lab, which we will have state-of-the-art flight simulators. So we're excited about that. Part of our new programming, we received 2 grants through the USDA. So in conjunction with our new STEM Center, you'll see a 32 by 64 greenhouse that will be adjacent to the STEM Center. And people that don't necessarily know, we do student interest surveys every year, and agriculture is one of the top programs that our students are interested in. So If you haven't been to McKinley to see the greenhouse, the one that will be here will be a little bit bigger. So it'll be fully operational, just like the one at McKinley. In conjunction with our agriculture program, we also have started the Future Farmers of America. We participate in Farm to School, and one of the new programs that we're very excited about is our 4-H club. And we started this 3 years ago, and we have 89 members in that now. So that's one of our larger student organizations. One thing that I'm excited about is our high school, as of Friday, our enrollment was 732 students. Of that enrollment, we have 362 enrolled in at least one career tech pathway. We do have some students enrolled in multiple career tech pathways. And another exciting stat that I always like to say is we've had 4 graduates that have graduated Steubenville High School with their associate's degree, their high school diploma, and their student private pilot license, which was made possible through our career tech program, through our aviation department. Of those 4, 3 are enrolled in flight schools, and they are expected to come back and fly out of Pittsburgh. So we're very excited about that. A couple of our new programs that we're bringing on board is biomedical science, computer science, environmental sustainability, which will go hand in hand with our LEED certification that we're pursuing, in addition to clean energy, and we just received a grant to start an aerospace engineering program. So that's all made possible through our new STEM center, all made possible by Steubenville City Schools, Jefferson County, and our fantastic Board of Education. So thank you.
Our final speaker for the day is Joe Wallace, Franciscan University Director of Community Relations and also the head boys basketball coach at the school. Joe will talk about Franciscan and their recent projects.
Well, since I'm last on the agenda, as Commissioner Timmons mentioned, I'm also our head men's basketball coach, so I'm used to dealing with 18 to 22-year-old men. So if you need to get your point across them, it better be right to the point and quickly, and that's the only way it works, trust me. First and foremost, Franciscan University of Steubenville is so grateful for its partnership with this community. What started as the College of Steubenville, then University of Steubenville, and finally Franciscan University of Steubenville, the of part has been a critical role in the history of this university. We are proud to call Steubenville, Jefferson County, and the Ohio Valley our home. We are proud to bring a $422 million economic impact to this community that supports over 8,000 jobs. It's a community partnership that benefits us in both ways. Our president, Father Dave Pavanka, has stated numerous times, Franciscan University could not have happened without Steubenville. It would not be who we are today without this community. It was a match made in heaven. Many exciting things are happening at the college. First, our Rebuild My Church campaign, which began in 2021 with a goal of $75 million. The goal line was then moved to $85 million fairly quickly and now approaches $110 million range. Our president, Father Dave, likes to build. So if you've been on campus recently, we have a really big mess happening. The centerpiece of the campaign is our newest building, Christ the Teacher, which is a $60 million project. The building will house our growing business department, nursing programs, and our new engineering program, as well as a space for a conference center, which can seat up to 500 guests. We're anticipating this opening this summer. The campaign now also includes a $13 million expansion and renovation of the Christ the King Chapel. The renovations and upgrades to seating in our chapel are desperately needed with the growing enrollment demands that we are currently facing. An outdoor pavilion is also being added right outside of our J.C. Williams Student Center to be able to house outdoor events for our students and local community members. The university continues to spread from the hilltop and into the community. As Mayor Barilla mentioned, we placed a $1 million investment at the square for a permanent ice skating rink, and this year has been a major success right out of the gates. We continue to look to opportunities to grow the University Boulevard corridor. As we just seen within the last month, the opening of the St. Paul Center. Last July, our campus housing moved into the former Sleep Inn, which is now named Blessed Casey Hall. Casey Hall houses male students, and many recreational upgrades have been improved on the outside of the building. And this allows our students to feel part of the heart of campus. We have also started a continuous shuttle service, which to a lot of people around the university that have been here, it's a major thing that's happening, that the university is continuing to spread itself off the hilltop. So we have a shuttle service that it basically runs until 11 o'clock at night for our students to be on lower campus, the square, and get to the heart of campus. Finally, our students remain the focus of the university. This past fall, we welcomed 768 freshmen, which was our newest record class. And so for the past 3 years, we've brought in our largest classes ever. Coming from all 50 states, show a healthy picture of Franciscan University and Jefferson County. They come for the mission of the university to educate and send forth joyful disciples in all walks of life. While most leave, many are staying, like we have never seen before. Our graduates are choosing to stay or return to the Ohio Valley. This community has been a welcoming home for them to plant their roots, a community of faith, friendship, and economic opportunity to help raise growing families. Thank you for allowing Franciscan to be a part of today's event.
As you've heard today, there are a lot of positives going on in this county and many people working hard for you. I want to thank all of our speakers today. I appreciate you giving your time and insight, and thank you for all that you do. I want to thank Steubenville High School, Melinda Young, Ted Gorman, and the media students for helping set all this up today. Thanks to the student ushers and Gianna Barker. I want to thank the veterans for attending. A big thank you to all of our Jefferson County government employees who make it all happen behind the scenes. Thanks to the Chamber and Jessica Elias for helping with the invitations and programs. Thanks to WTOV9, the Herald Star, and Pierce Media for their coverage of this event. I look forward to a very successful 2024. Thank you.